Now wait just a second. You mean to tell me that based on a silhouette from an ongoing animated series that I am admittedly not watching, that we can jump to the conclusion that the DCU's Batman will be a little bit on the bulky side? And suddenly everyone's okay with that? No fat man jokes? No complaining about his size? Nothing? I actually saw some people praising this silhouette, saying that this is exactly what Batman should look like. I can't tell if these reactions are hypocrisy at this point, or just one big troll job. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Before I get into my thoughts on this reveal, and I use that term very loosely, I need to reiterate that I am a massive Batman fan, and I've been a Batman fan my entire life. And I also have no shame in saying that I enjoyed all 4 major Batman interpretations in live action for different reasons.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
No, not you. So needless to say, I would hold any interpretation of Batman to a very high standard. Because outside of the Schumacher days and the brief Whedon and Muschietti days, I actually feel like overall, Batman is one of the few comic book characters that have been treated with the respect he deserves by Hollywood. That being said, I'm going to be paying very close attention to the James Gunn interpretation of the character when we eventually see him. Like for real. With this reveal, which I wouldn't even call a reveal, it's more of a vague Easter egg, but I have to ask the question, was it necessary for him to use his Batman in this way, when it would have been a lot more beneficial to showcase him for the first time in a more substantial way?
That makes sense.
Again, first impressions are everything, and this is something that I've been stressing as the DCU starts to take shape. At the same time, it's almost impossible to come to any kind of conclusion about what this version of Batman will be about based on this silhouette alone. Some people are speculating that he will have white eyes in live action, based on this. Some people are saying that he will be wearing his underpants over his tights, based on this. Some are even saying that he will be rocking the iconic in the comic books but questionable in live action blue and gray color scheme. At the end of the day, none of us really know because there's nothing here for us to be able to come to any kind of solid conclusion. But here's what we do know about this Batman from James Gunn himself. That is assuming that he doesn't contradict himself in the next couple of days.
I understood that reference.
James Gunn recently said that he wasn't ready to commit to his Batman's design, hence the silhouette. There is also speculation that the design could change drastically by the time the character makes an official debut in the Brave and the Bold movie, if it ever happens. So I think this little tidbit of information alone should put to bed any kind of speculation people have that this silhouette is meant to mean anything. And if I had to guess, I would also say that this puts to bed the Robert Pattinson merger with the DCU rumors. I mean, if James Gunn is actually going for consistency between the animated stuff and live action stuff, as he says, the idea that this was Robert Pattinson's Batman seems very far-fetched. Unless Pattinson had an unhealthy amount of venom pumped into his veins sometime after his first appearance in the Matt Reeves films. James Gunn also revealed that Batman's origin story will not be shown in the DCU, saying, quote, "We do not need to hear that origin story again."
He's out of line, but he's right.
And this is a creative decision that I actually agree with. No, we do not need to hear Batman's origin story again. It was already done flawlessly 20 years ago in Batman Begins, and as James Gunn said, pretty much everyone already knows it. But looking at the big picture, I do think this is an area where he needs to tread carefully. Because not having an origin story could make the character come off as rushed if people are going to hold this movie to the same standards they held past movies. I mean, the universe overall already feels rushed based on the sheer amount of heroes and villains that are already active at the start of the DCU. As always, it will be about execution and whether or not James Gunn and company can craft compelling and interesting characters without showing us their early struggles and how and why they came to be. James Gunn also recently said to Rotten Tomatoes that, quote, "The Batman is one of his favorite characters. He loves him, and that they are going to do great things with him. He's the most popular superhero in the world." And I couldn't agree more. Batman is my all-time favorite fictional character after all, and I would love for his great cinematic track record to continue, because nobody wants to see their favorite character undermined and disrespected. As always, the key will be for Gunn to put his own spin on the character while also staying true to the essence of the source material. The previous creatives who tackled Batman in live action, in my opinion, were able to accomplish that. And if James Gunn is in fact the creative mind that some people seem to think that he is, then hopefully he can bring something memorable to the character. I've made it no secret that I have my reservations about that, based on James Gunn's past work. But once again, as always, I am giving him the opportunity to change my mind.
I don't believe you.
Just understand, if you thought people were super critical of his Superman already, wait until we get an actual look at his Batman. As James himself alluded to, this is no ordinary character. This is in fact the most popular superhero of all time. People love this character for a reason, and they will easily be able to sniff out an interpretation that doesn't live up to their lofty expectations. All of the previous Batman that I've already expressed my love for, even the interpretations that I thought were flawless, they've all faced a certain level of criticism, whether it be for trivial things like they're too big, they're too small, they're too short, they're too realistic, their voice is too raspy, or for more philosophical ideas like should Batman be able to kill people. And James Gunn's Batman will not be immune to these gripes. In fact, the criticisms will be amplified. So I hope that James Gunn is up to the challenge.
Good to see somebody who doesn't buckle under the pressure.
I think if his Batman could at least capture a fraction of the essence of something like the Batman we got in the Arkham games, that might be something that I'd be interested in seeing in live action. It remains to be seen if James Gunn's style of storytelling meshes with a character like the Batman. I'm skeptical, but only time will tell.
Y'all be cool. Right on.